Welcome to RCAM. I'm your host, Ryan, and thank you for tuning in today. This weekend it has probably been one of the most historic weekends of my lifetime, or at least in a presidential race in my lifetime. So, for those of you who may be blissfully unaware, there was an assassination attempt made on presidential candidate and former President Donald J. Trump. And this is one of those things that I kind of was following the story almost immediately as it was being shared on Twitter. And it was just one of those things where I couldn't believe it was happening. I could not believe what I was witnessing, that an actual assassination attempt was being made on a presidential candidate. Absolutely mind-blowing. And fortunately, Trump survived. But out of this, I think it's brought up a lot of questions as to the motives of the shooter, as to what Secret Service was doing. It's caused a lot of discussion on Twitter and among the media and how they were reporting this. And predictably, you got people reacting in unhinged ways in response to this. So we're going to spend this episode unpacking all of that. I'm going to try to cover this to the best of my ability. Obviously, this is a developing story, so things may change, as we learn more about what's happening. But I think we have a pretty good grasp, at least on the basics of what happened. So we'll talk about that and much more today on RCAM. So if you do like this content, please like, subscribe, follow, do all of those things because that helps me out a great deal. Trying to keep this lighting out of my eye, and it's not working. All right, that just looks terrible. I might just shut this light off. All right. Give me 1 second. Very good. Better. Much better. All right. All right. Let's get these stories pulled up. Nope, wrong one. All right, let's see here. All right. So this image is going to live as one of the most iconic images of our lifetime. I mean, this is going to be an image that is going to make its way into the history books. I mean, when I saw this image after the assassination happened, I just couldn't help but think to myself, what a total badass. This is the most badass thing I've ever seen from a president in my lifetime, and that I think I'll ever see. He immediately after an assassination attempt was made on his life, he throws his fist in the air, and we'll play this clip in a little bit, and says, "Fight, fight, fight," and he stops his Secret Service detail from taking him off the stage. Just badassery on a level that I never thought I would see. And this is a huge moment for Trump. Absolute huge moment for Trump. Scary moment for him, but a moment that I think is going to resonate in the minds of Americans for a very, very long time, and a moment that's going to be etched in history. Trump made history in this image and with the assassination attempt. So I think that is good. However, it's alarming and disturbing that our president found himself in the crosshair of a madman to begin with. Should have never happened. And as much as I like to say I was surprised, I wasn't really. And I don't think many of us were. I think a lot of us saw this coming. This was the logical next step. This is the logical progression from people that hate this man. So it's no surprise to me that that this happened. I wish it were. I wish it did catch me off guard, but it's something that was unfortunately expected. And that, what just happened? And that in itself is pretty disturbing. Give me 1 second. All right, here we go. So let's go through some of these clips, because I want to kind of kick this off with kind of just walking you through kind of how I saw everything playing out. So the first video that I saw was this one, and it was alarming.
Holden, if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened. Holden.
You can see the moment too where he grabs his ear. He puts his hand on his ear.
Look what happened.
There he is.
Want to really see something that said, take a.
So that's the moment where he just narrowly escapes death. I mean, he came so close to death's door that it just leaves me flabbergasted, and has to lead me to believe that there was divine intervention that helped save Trump's life. I do believe in this moment that God's hand was on Trump. And we'll discuss this a little bit more to show you just how close it was. But there's this other video going around that was making the rounds that I want to show. And this is kind of immediately just moments after the clip that I just played for you guys. All right.
Oh, I'm sorry, Congressman Garcia. Something has happened at the Trump. Oh, we see Donald Trump there at a rally in Pennsylvania. You can see his face. There's blood coming from his ear. Not exactly sure what has happened, but those are Secret Service agents trying to pull Donald Trump off the stage. He's pumping his fist in the air. The crowd is chanting USA, USA. Again, this is live. This is live from a Trump rally in Pennsylvania, in Butler, Pennsylvania. Former President Donald Trump, something happened, clearly some kind of an attack. You see there clearly blood on his right ear as Secret Service try to push him into the SUV. Earlier, as we came on, you saw the former president pumping his fist in the air as the Secret Service agents tried to get him off the stage. They have succeeded in getting him into the armored SUV. They will be taking him, clearly, they will be taking him away.
So it's crazy to me, this is, words cannot express how profound what Trump did was. Because normal people, when they have just been fired at by a sniper and had a chunk of their ear blown off, don't stop their Secret Service detail and shout, fight, 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 which is exactly what Donald Trump did. He used that moment as a moment to encourage his supporters, which is just a level of bravery that I don't think we've seen in modern politics. I've never seen anything like that in my entire life. It's one of those things that I think is, again, going to live down in infamy, and is one of those things that I'm encouraged to see. I don't have a tremendous amount of faith in the Republican Party, But to see something like this is just next level to me. It's just something that I think is wild and encouraging and, well, one of the bravest things I've ever seen. So I thought this was a huge moment from Trump. And I just imagine myself in that situation, and a lot of us would like to, think that we would do the same thing, but would you really, in that situation, respond that way to stop your Secret Service detail? Most people have self-preservation in mind. Trump didn't have that. He was thinking about the rest of the people there. And he used that as an opportunity to encourage them. And I just think, wow, that's crazy. That's crazy to me. I was talking to a buddy earlier today, and he basically said, I wouldn't have done that. And I think if most of us are being honest with ourselves, no, we wouldn't have. We would have thought about getting off that stage as fast as possible. But Trump is built differently. He's just built differently. And this was his moment to do something incredibly heroic, and he did. And just to show you guys how close it really was, because I don't think we think about that. Actually, I'll get to this in a little bit. I don't think we really think about how close he actually came. So let's see this. Actually, Bozo Priester writes, "Yep, every time I see that clip of Trump telling them, wait, I get chill." Yeah, I do too. I do too. When I saw that clip, it was just like, it was one of those moments that you in your heart of heart, like, this is history. This is something that we will never see again. Something, and Lord willing, I never want to see something like that again. We don't want to see assassination attempts by our president, but man, I mean, this is how close he came. So Donald Trump says at last millisecond head tilt likely saved his life, as slow down footage shows the bullet grazing his ear. If Trump hadn't moved his head, the bullet would likely have hit the rear of his head, ending his life. Trump says he turned his head to look at the illegal immigration statistics that were on the big screen at his rally. The chart that I was going over saved my life. The only good things illegals have ever done for us. Trump reportedly said to former White House doctor Ronnie Jackson, "The Border Patrol saved my life." Oh, it was the Border Patrol. "If I hadn't pointed at that chart and turned my head to look at it, the bullet would have hit me right in the head." Yeah. And I don't think some people are actually grasping how crazy this is. And here's another image that was shared by End Wokeness. So this shows the trajectory.
What happened? Take a look what happened.
That's crazy. Tell me that is not divine intervention. That he came crazy close to having it all come to an end. And after the midst of this terrifying ordeal, he does this, man. He does this, and this is just something that I'm floored over. I am absolutely floored that he had the courage to do this immediately following this event. It just goes to show you that Trump he's an animal, man. He's an animal. And after all this happened, he did end up releasing a statement. So he said, "I want to thank the United States Secret Service and all law enforcement for their rapid response on the shooting that just took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed." And we will talk about this in a little bit. "And also to the family of another person that was badly injured. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Nothing is known at this time about the shooter, who is now dead. And we do now know a lot, or a little bit more. I was shot with a bullet that pierced my upper part of my ear. I knew immediately that something was wrong, in that I heard a whizzing sound, shot, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. Much bleeding took place. So I realized then what was happening. God bless America. Yeah. So he realized what was happening. Tragically, a person lost their life, and that story in itself, man, it hits, you know, as a dad, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But man, what I think bothers a lot of people about this incident is that it shouldn't have happened. None of this should have happened. And there are a lot of questions that we have about how the shooter was able to pull this off. Trump had had Secret Service. Their job is to secure the perimeter. Their job is to ensure that there are no threats, and their job is to eliminate those threats if they spot them. And the threat was spotted, and we have some reports that he was stationed on this roof for about 30 minutes. 30 minutes. And people saw him. Police officers saw him. People attending the Trump rally saw him. A number of people saw him, and no action was taken. Trump wasn't taken to safety. He wasn't ushered away and taken off the stage when his life very clearly was at risk. And I want to listen to one report by this gentleman because I thought he gave he basically covered everything. So an eyewitness told BBC that he reported a suspicious man with a rifle on a roof to the police and Secret Service, but was ignored. How do you ignore that? If somebody reports that there is a suspicious man with a rifle on a roof and he's 150 yards from the president, that seems like something that you don't sit on. It seems like something that you act on immediately. That you don't wait. That you're like, we got other things to do. We'll revisit this a little bit later. No, that is an urgent threat that must be handled immediately. So let's listen to what this guy has to say.
And listen to the rally, right? We couldn't see him, but we could hear him. So we walked up, and probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here. I have no idea, But we noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle.
A rifle.
We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? Like they didn't know what was going on. We're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. He's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2-3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling
3 to 4 minutes.
We were telling the police. We were pointing at him for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see
binoculars?
Could they see him?
Probably not, because the roof, the way the slope went, he was behind where they could see. But why is there not Secret Service on all of these roofs here?
Good question.
This is not a big place.
Did you see, obviously everyone, when the shooting started, everyone was very panicked. Did you see what happened to him at all?
Oh, yeah, they blew his head off.
Okay, sorry.
Secret Service blew his head off.
Okay, just be careful because we don't quite know who's watching, but you're pretty sure they shot the guy?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
You saw that happen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And did you see them go up to him afterwards, or?
They crawled up on the roof. They had their guns pointed at him, make sure he was dead. He was dead, and that was it. It was over.
And we do have footage of them actually making the shot. So here
And
they
you know, that's
are.
a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see
They
something
have them
that's
in their line of sight.
take a look at what happened. And you know, that's a little...
So they had him in their line of sight. They knew he was there, and they waited until he actually was able to get shots off. Look, I try, like, I try not to be a conspiracy theorist, but I don't know, like, something just seems off to me about the timeline, about how long it took people to react. Again, we have reports that people were aware he was there for up to 30 minutes. All right. The New York Post actually has a timeline of their failures, so I want to cover this. Would-be Trump assassin was spotted by cops twice, 20 minutes before he wounded ex-pres killed retired fire chief. And we'll talk about that guy in a minute. All right, a clear picture is emerging of the exact timelines of staggering failures that enabled a 20-year-old man with no military training to scale a building loaded with a counter sniper team's cops in broad daylight and come within a hair's breadth of killing former President Donald Trump. Thomas Matthew Crooks was spotted at least twice by cops 20 minutes before he rained bullets on the PA rally. Wounding Trump and two others and killing an ex-fire chief. The Beaver County Emergency Service Unit, which traveled to Butler County, Pennsylvania Trump rally from the neighboring Pittsburgh suburb, noticed Crooks on the roof, took a picture of him and reported it around 5:45 p.m. Incredibly, not only did Crooks manage to avoid being confronted despite sticking out like a sore thumb, he secured his rooftop perch right under the nose of local police sniper teams stationed inside the building. How does this happen? How did this happen? How did they not do anything? The building, the ARG International Inc. factory next to the Butler County Farm Fairgrounds, was being used by local police as a watch post for snipers to scan for threats as the former president spoke on stage only 130 yards away, according to sources. Cops were inside but not on the roof during the shooting. Crooks was able to scale the building unchallenged before firing off up to 8 shots with an AR-style assault rifle, grazing Trump in the ear, killing one of Trump's supporters. Law enforcement sources said it was not clear as of Monday night whether any of the local officers were tasked with securing the perimeter outside of the rally were able to warn Secret Service agents about the gunman. Well, why wouldn't they, though? Like, why wouldn't they warn Secret Service agents about the gunman? That doesn't make any sense. Chilling video captured at the rally illustrates the botched security operation. This includes 2 minutes of footage that could go down in history as a low point of the Secret Service in the agency's more than 100 years of protecting U.S. presidents. A multi-feed montage assembled by Milk Bar TV, which has been viewed more than 3.5 million times on X, shows the attempted assassination play out in real time using clips from several vantage points.
We would do a job. I wouldn't even be doing this. I'd be at some beautiful place with a gorgeous ocean.
Look, they're all pointing.
The Atlantic, maybe the Pacific.
Yeah, someone's on top of the roof. Look. There he is right there. Right there, see him? He's laying down. You see him?
Yeah, he's laying down.
And son, I'm here with you fighting like hell to get a senator.
What's happening?
And to make sure we take back the White House, because if we do, we're going to make America better than ever before. We're going to make it.
Yeah, look. There he is.
Easy, because we have millions and millions of people in our country that should.
Look, they're trying to get the officers' attention.
Criminals. We have criminals. We have drug dealers. We have people that should not be here.
On the
And
roof.
it's much tougher than if it happened.
You went right on the roof, big guy.
Ever. In recorded history, we're the best border. In fact, if they could ever put up a chart, I don't know if they can do it. Do you guys have access to that chart that I love so much? You don't mind if I go off teleprompter, do you? Because these teleprompters are so damn...
They had more than enough time to act, way more than enough time. So more than 120 excruciating seconds passed between the rally-goers first spotting Crooks on the roof and the moment he fires his rifle. Perhaps the most disturbingly, the people who saw the would-be assassin repeatedly tried to alert law enforcement patrolling nearby. Why was a call not made? Why was Trump not radioed in? Why did somebody not tell him to get to safety? They had enough time to act and they didn't. And that's what makes this so frustrating. That's what makes this so wild. And that's why there are conspiracies, many speculating that it is an inside job. Because how do you go on that long without doing anything? I don't know, man. I really don't. I don't know how they let this happen. So you have to speculate, were people intentionally ignoring this? Because it's either there's a conspiracy, there's somebody, in the Secret Service that had nefarious intent, or this is the worst example of incompetence that we have ever seen. And as sad as that is, I can actually buy that too, because of what we saw with Uvalde, coupled with cowardice. Maybe it was one of those classic situations where it's like, well, somebody else will do it. Somebody else will deal with it. And everybody's just deferring responsibility instead of acting as they should have. And the thing is that anybody that's paying attention knows that this was the obvious escalation in what happened next with Trump. I mean, they've been trying to get the guy for years, first with their 2 impeachments and then actual criminal convictions and trying to get this guy sent to jail. And when all that fails, when all their recourse fails, this is the only thing that they have left to do. And fortunately, God had his hand on Trump. And I believe that. Now, I'm not saying that Trump is our political savior or anything like that, all right? I don't want to send mixed messages. But I do believe that God had his hand on Trump and protected him. For what reason? That is yet to be seen. But I don't think you narrowly escape a life and death situation like that without God's supernatural intervention on your life. And I hope that this is a moment, too, that draws Trump closer to God. That he starts to take his faith a little bit more seriously. That he shows gratitude to God who saved his life. And then uses that as a means to bring true unity to the nation. And as I said before, this isn't something that was unpredictable. So here we have Tucker, and I do think Tucker Carlson and Alex Jones, they're owed an apology. Because they were called, they were accused of promoting conspiracy, and here was Tucker's predictions.
They called him names. He won anyway. They impeached him twice on ridiculous pretenses. They fabricated a lot about what happened on January 6th in order to impeach him again. It didn't work. He came back. Then they indicted him. It didn't work. He became more popular. Then they indicted him 3 more times, and every single time his popularity rose. So if you begin with criticism, then you go to protest, then you go to impeachment, now you go to indictment, and none of them work, what's next? I mean, graph it out, man. We're speeding toward assassination, obviously, and no one will say that, but I don't know how you can reach that conclusion. You know what I mean? Like, they have decided, permanent Washington, both parties have decided that there's something about Trump that's so threatening to them, they just can't have him.
Yeah, he's absolutely right. As I was saying, this is the logical conclusion that you come to. And unfortunately, I wish I could say that this is going to be the end of it. But I don't expect, I don't imagine this is going to be the last attempt. But I don't see any attempts after this succeeding. I don't believe that Trump is going to go in as relaxed. I don't think the Secret Service is going to be as relaxed going forward, that security measures are going to be ramped up to keep him safe. I do think him choosing a vice president like J.D. Vance is definitely going to help him stay alive because as much as they hate Trump, they also hate this guy. So the Republican U.S. Senator from Ohio is an anti-LGBT activist. So they're not happy with Trump's pick for VP. I, for one, I don't know a whole heck of a lot about the guy, but he seems pretty base to me, man. He seems, if he's anti-LGBT, he's okay in my book. That's somebody that I want the anti-LGBT guy as Trump's VP. I think that's good. I think that's sending us in the right direction. So, yeah, I think that's something that is good and should at least give Trump a little bit of assassination insurance, because they sure as hell don't want this guy becoming president. So, maybe that'll help Trump. We will see. But, I do think there will be other attempts. We'll see what happens. And I do want to take the time. Well, first, let's talk about coffee real quick, all right? Because we all love coffee. I am a coffee achiever, and that's why I drank Rumble's 1775 coffee. So I had a cup of this pretty much right before I started streaming. So it is time to say goodbye to Starbucks and say hello to Rumble's 1775 coffee. Unlike other coffee brands, this is a coffee that backs free speech and is unapologetic about it, which is what Rumble is in a nutshell. They let me say whatever I want, and I don't have to deal with any consequences to it. So I think that's good. So visit 1775coffee.com, use the promo code Studio40, and get 40% off any coffee subscription. The coffee comes in medium, dark roast. It also comes in pea berry, which is similar to Kona coffee. In other words, this stuff is premium. So yeah, go ahead, support Rumble, get some coffee. It's pretty good. I think you'll like it. I think you'll enjoy it. Rumble does a great job supporting free speech, and I'm happy to support them, and you should be too. So, all right. So I had alluded to this a little bit earlier. So I want to talk about the man who tragically lost his life during this altercation, during this assassination attempt. Let's call it what it is. So I saw this video going on around earlier, and at first we had thought that this was the shooter, but we now know that it was not the shooter, that it was unfortunately somebody that got caught in the crosshairs.
To me, as you're trying to figure out if you're okay, what's going on, was he shot, was he wounded? Then we heard him on the microphone, Shannon, saying, "Let me grab my shoes," as they tried to take him off. So we're just trying to figure out what happened.
So here they're taking this guy out. And man, I'm gonna try not to get choked up reading this. The Trump rally attendee who was murdered yesterday by Matthew Crooks has been identified as Corey Comparator. A family member has released a statement on their Facebook page about the situation. Prayers up for Corey and his family. So this is Corey. This was a man whose life was claimed by the gunman. And I just feel horrible for him and his family. Here's a statement released by one of his girls. Yesterday, time stopped. And when it started again, my family and I started living a real-life nightmare. I can't imagine being in a situation where you your dad dies right in front of your eyes, and then you have to relive that nightmare all over social media. I sincerely feel for this girl. This is tragic and awful, and it's just a terrible thing. What was supposed to be an exciting day that we had all looked forward to, especially my dad, turned into one of the most traumatizing experiences someone could imagine. I know the media will cover this event, and I'm going to try my best to stay away from looking at everything, especially because I've already seen and lived through it in real time. But I want everyone to know what the media will not cover and will not say about him. He was the best dad a girl could ever ask for. And my sister and I never needed for anything. You call, he would answer, and he would do whatever it is you needed. If he didn't know how, he would figure out how. He could talk and make friends with anybody, which he was doing all day yesterday, and loved every minute of it. He was a man of God, loved Jesus fiercely, and also looked after our church and our members as family. Man, that's sad, man. That is just sad. The media will not tell you that he died a real-life superhero. They're not going to tell you how quickly he threw my mom and I to the ground. They're not going to tell you that he shielded my body from the bullet that came at us. He covered his family. He truly loved us enough to take a real bullet for us, and I want nothing more than to cry on him and tell him thank you. I want nothing more than to wake up and for this to not be reality for me and my family. We lost a selfless, loving husband, father, brother, and friend, a son and friend, and I will never stop thinking about him and mourning over him until the day that I die too. July 13th will forever be a day that changed my life. I will never be the same person I was less than 24 hours ago. There are a lot of children out there that say their dad is their hero, but my dad really is mine. I don't think I would be here today without him. Dad, I love you so much that there aren't words to express how deep that love goes. I know you'll give heaven some hell. I know God is proud of the man that came to his gates yesterday. Amen. I mean, amen. That was a beautifully written tribute to a man who demonstrated true selflessness and Christ-like love for the people that he cared about the most. We should all aim to be men like Corey, who are willing to lay down our lives for the people that we love. And I mean, he literally did it. He literally took a bullet for him and his family. And it's tragic, but also beautiful to see that type of selflessness. To see somebody go all the way for Jesus and demonstrate the same type of love that Christ showed for his church, for his own family. A model man, a hero. Somebody that I legitimately think should be celebrated, should be praised, and should be remembered. Not as a victim, but a hero. Somebody that deeply loved his family. Somebody that deeply loved his country. Somebody that was willing to do whatever it took to keep his family safe. Hold on a second. This is awesome. So it looks like there is a GoFundMe. And man, I know this will never make up for what they lost, but I mean, they raised over $1 million for this family, which is incredible. Just showing people coming together to help a grieving family and support them in their time of need. And that's one of the beautiful things about the internet, is that something tragic can be worked together for good. And I think that's beautiful. And I think that's incredible. But as much as I would like to say that this is all beautiful and all great, not everybody had these sentiments toward Corey or toward Trump. And although we see some good, and I don't want anything good to be underscored by what I'm about to show you, because these people are unhinged lunatics. But hopefully that white pill, what that man did, shows you that there are good people in this world. There are people that will do whatever it takes to protect their loved ones. But there are also incredibly evil people in this world that took this opportunity to celebrate the assassination attempt on our president and to scoff at the man who lost his life in the process. So we're going to go through some of these clips. So this was shared by Libs of TikTok. And this unhinged leftist is having a meltdown because the shooter missed Trump. These people are deranged. Let's watch this.
I just found out about this shit. It just happened. I haven't even had a second to process. You're telling me somebody finally had the balls to bring a pew-pew and he missed? We were a second away. We were a centimeter away from half of the problem being gone, and you missed. There was a white man attached to that trigger. I know it. We were a centimeter away. Ah!
I'm really not, I don't really support cancel culture, but at the same time, you know, if this person is employed somewhere and they lose their job, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. All right. I'm just not. Because she is literally angry and upset that the shooter missed killing a presidential candidate. Now, I don't fancy myself a Biden supporter by any means. I don't like the guy. I think he's evil. But I'm not going to celebrate if somebody attempts to take his life, because I actually do value life. I'm not going to celebrate the death of somebody like this unhinged lunatic. And she did ultimately regret this post because she deleted it shortly after and posted this. I'm probably not going to play this whole thing.
Become the shots heard around the world, and it's only been an hour. Somebody shot at former president of the United States and current political candidate Donald Trump.
This is like her PR version of her unhinged rant. So this is shared by Cindy Watson. Here's a new video as requested. She deleted the old one and posted another two backtracking. Our friend learned that the internet blowback is swift and aggressive when you celebrate the attempted murder of a presidential candidate, as it should be. That's not something you do. That's not something that you should feel comfortable doing publicly, because it's crazy. And unfortunately for leftists, they are actually convinced that Donald Trump is literally Hitler. They've been brainwashed by the media to believe that. And because they believe that, they make unhinged videos like this. And this is just one of many comments. Here's another one. Basically, an obituary to Matthew Crooks. Today you were brave. You took matters into your own hand. You didn't sit back and wait for change. You decided to be that change. You decided to murder somebody. That's what he did. Your mission wasn't completed, but you did try. Nothing beats a failure but a try. You'll be in the news forever, and your name will always be remembered as a murderer. Matthew Crooks, you will be remembered as a murderer. The man who murdered Corey and took him from his family. as the one who was brave enough to try and take down the orange Cheeto. May God have mercy on your soul and forgive you. After all, nobody is perfect. Real American hero, as you rot in hell, as he deserves. It just gets worse. Here's from the trans community. I'm so effing angry. How do you miss like that, bro? That's a chance of a lifetime. And obviously got their pronouns in their bio. And libs of TikTok, man, they did a great job kind of just reporting all now this will bring up the question of censorship, which I don't think, like, I don't necessarily agree with. So Chayarachik is reporting people. So this guy just Branas reported A for efforts. And Lives of TikTok is tagging the people, you know, that this is a staffer and a councilwoman. So we'll see what ends up happening. So Heather is saying that the matter has been dealt with and refers to Jess as a former staffer. So they were fired swiftly. But I think like part of me is torn about this because you do kind of open yourself up to this by posting this publicly. So what do you expect is going to happen? So maybe don't be retarded, you know? Maybe don't say vile, evil crap and expect there not to be any consequence. This is Tony Bendil. Too bad it didn't hit him square. He is resigned as a firefighter. To everyone, please accept this as my resignation from the firehouse. I can't do this. This is beyond anything that should ever be happening. I have been threatened. My family's been threatened. My friends have been threatened. I've never felt so unsafe in my life. Oh, you don't feel safe, huh? Tragic. And now I don't want people to bother you, but what do you expect, man, when you say crazy things like this? And obviously, I don't want his family in danger. And this is why you need to not be stupid. You know, you need to think through things because your words actually do have consequences. Now, I don't support canceling people. I don't support reporting these tweets to somebody's boss, but there are people that will. And you just have to be prepared for that and extremely reckless. So he kind of brought it on himself. Oh, this is annoying me. Okay. Meet Rick Notari, Community Outreach Manager for Lac County CR. He is very sad that the shooter missed. He is a government employer. Our taxes pay his salary. The Lackawanna County Commissioners indefinitely suspended Community Relation Manager Rick Notari for an inappropriate comment he made on social media following the assassination attempt on against former President Donald Trump. So yeah, these people, not unfortunately, paid the consequences for their stupidity in real time. Now, of all the unhinged things, this one is actually the most disgusting to me. So this is regarding Destiny. For those who may be unfamiliar with him, he's a very popular YouTube streamer, most prominently known for being in a polygamous relationship with his ex-wife, Melina, which, by the way, didn't work out. I wonder why. Seems weird that your poly relationship wouldn't work out. So YouTuber Destiny attacks Corey Compatore again, doubling down on the Donald Trump rally shooting. People are calling for him to be banned, but you really want people like this to feel comfortable, so they show you who they really are. And I think that is actually the right approach. Let people say their stupid nonsense. Let them say it so we know who they are, we know who and who not to associate with. And they end up outing themselves. But this is what he said.
But anyway, just to be clear, fuck you. Fuck the guy that got shot at the rally. This is why I don't give a fuck about showing sympathy. This is why I don't give a fuck. This is why I don't give a fuck about the sympathy for any of you fucking losers, because you won't own up to anything.
Don't take it out on me because your wife left you, Pastor.
Nobody is talking about
all right. Everybody calm down. Jesus Christ. You got the skin complexion of Uncle Fester. Go worry about your
That's great. And you've got the voice tone of a guy with an A1C of 15, okay? Good for you.
That's fine. Listen, I don't even know what that means. God bless.
I'm sure you don't. It's why your feet are about to fall off, dipshit.
I wish I could find I thought I had the original video of what he said. But he basically said, you know, if this had happened to any of his conservative followers too, that he doesn't care. Good. That's crazy. That's unhinged behavior. Not feeling any remorse for the man who lost his life and wouldn't have even cared if it was one of the people that followed him. And I actually know somebody. I talked to somebody today who said they started following some of Destiny's content and thought he was pretty reasonable. And after he made these comments, they got his message loud and clear and stopped following him. And I think that's the right move. Why follow a lunatic like this? That is a unhinged lunatic take. All right. Last one kind of in this vein, and then we'll get to the RNC. All right, so this is from a Tenacious D concert. All right.
Don't miss Trump next time.
So that was Kyle Gass, Jack Black's buddy, wishing that next time an assassination attempt is successful on Trump. Stand-up guy, real good guy. So after this development, obviously this clip got spread around a lot. You know, it's been seen 2.9 million times. Jack Black actually issued a statement. I was blindsided by what was said at the show on Sunday. I would never condone hate speech or encourage political violence in any form. After much reflection, I no longer feel it is appropriate to continue the Tenacious D tour, and all future creative plans are on hold. I am grateful to the fans for their support and understanding. So obviously he got a lot of backlash about this. Now, I did see reports that Kyle Gass also issued an apology, so it seems like they are taking ownership for what was said, but it still doesn't change the fact that they said it. It's just crazy to me that people would be this bold and they're evil. You know, and it's not just them, man. I wish it were them, but these people are ultimately influenced too by the media. And the media, talk about enemy of the people. So, like, I think it's safe to say that the media directly contributed to the rhetoric that we see. So this is from the Daily Wire, and it reads, loud popping noises. Trump falls. Media outlets tiptoe around mentioning shots fired at rally. Yeah. And it's one of those things that if you didn't see it, you wouldn't believe, like, they're actually doing this. They're not calling what it is. So here's some of the headlines by prominent outlets. All right. CNN's original headline said, the Secret Service rushes Trump off stage after he falls at rally. Falls? Fell? Oh, you mean after an assassination attempt was made on his life and he was ducking for cover to preserve his life. MSNBC and NBC both said Trump was moved off stage after loud popping noises. Oh, you mean gunshots? The sound of a sniper opening fire on Trump? That's what you mean? The Washington Post said Trump was escorted away after loud noises. Yeah, it's called gunfire, the sound of a gunshot. People's Magazine said there were loud bangs, gunshots. Call it what it is. USA Today said loud noises startled the former president and the rally crowd. So they do this because they're dishonest scumbags and they make no attempt. They hate this man so much that they can't even be honest in their reporting and report what's actually happening. The fact that an unhinged gunman attempted to shoot the former president of the United States and presidential candidate. That's what happened. An assassination attempt was made. Absolute cowards, pathetic cowards. But that's not really surprising coming from the media. And what I'm about to show you guys next isn't very surprising, but this isn't from the media. This is going to be from the Republican National Convention. Republicans letting us down yet again. That's what they do best. They just let us down. If there's one thing I can count on in life, it's Republicans letting me down. And that's exactly what happened. All right. So this was from Charles T. Moran, and he is National Log Cabin GOP president, policy analyst, advocate, and development consultant, LGBTQ and media surrogate. Opinions here are mine. All right, I gotta control myself. It's official. The national GOP platform has been stripped of all anti-LGBT language. Inclusion 1. Thank you, Donald Trump. Why? Why did we strip the conservative platform of anti-LGBTQ language? I liked the anti-LGBTQ language, actually. I think it's needed because we should be anti-LGBT if we are claiming to be conservative. If we are not claiming to be conservative, or if we are claiming to be conservative and we are endorsing pro-LGBT language, then what exactly are we conserving? What the hell are we doing? Certainly not conserving traditional conservative values that are rooted in Christianity. That's not what we're doing. Certainly not conserving the traditional definition of marriage and sex and sexuality. We're not doing any of that. No, we are acquiescing to these degenerates, and we are seeing the conservative movement drift leftward, as I have been saying for quite some time now. And it gets worse, man. I wish this was the worst of it, but this is day one, and it's just disappointment after disappointment. They're probably, I imagine they're live now, and they're. I can predict disappointments coming, because it's just what I have come to expect from the GOP. All right, this is from Ben Zoloff. The RNC featured a prayer to a demon. Did anyone turn their backs? Did anyone leave the room? Was there any resistance at all? Let me see the original post. The RNC allowed a Sikh prayer to take place. Now, this woman, I believe her name is Hamrit. I do follow her. And from what I understand, she's actually been a pretty positive voice in the conservative movement. So I don't want to kind of underscore that. However, her being invited to pray a prayer to her gods at the Republican National Convention, huge mistake. Huge mistake. Why are we doing this? Why are we allowing this woman to pray these prayers? So let's give it a listen.
तुम्हारी गत मित तुम ही जानी नानक दास सदा कुर्बानी. Dear Waheguru, our one true God, we thank you for creating America as a unique haven on this earth where all people are free to worship according to their faith. We seek your blessings and guidance for our beloved country. Please bless our people with wisdom as they vote in the upcoming election, and please bless with humility, honesty, skill, and integrity all those who conduct the election.
So here's the prayer. She said, "Dear Waheguru, our one true God." No, that's not the one true God. That's a false God. That's a demon. And I thank this God for nothing. We see brilliant video, right? I don't understand what the point of that was. I don't either. Actually, I do understand. Pandering. They're trying to cast this wide net to try to bring in as many people as possible. I don't want to be placating to Hindus. I don't want to be placating to the LGBTQ. I don't think we actually need their votes, to be honest with you. And I don't see any sense pandering to them. And I don't see how this is not blasphemy. This is blasphemy. We have a God who our nation recognizes. His name is Jesus Christ. And that's the God that we should be recognizing, that we should be praying to at the Republican National Convention, which, by the way, need I remind you, is supposed to be conservative. What are we conserving exactly? Because when we do crap like this, it's certainly not Christianity. In fact, we're directly undermining it, and this is an insult to God. This is an insult to Yahweh. And we should not be having any of it. And certainly shouldn't be standing for it. So I get this woman was invited and they gave her this opportunity. But man, what about the people in the crowd? Pathetic cowards. Why would you join her in prayer to her fake God? The moment she started recognizing any other God but Jesus Christ, you should have either sat down or walked out. Do not tolerate blasphemy, because that's exactly what this was. And again, I'm not saying that this woman is a bad woman. Again, I from what I understand, she has a pretty good track record with helping conservatives, but she had, this prayer was completely unnecessary and did nothing to help the conservative movement, and is just pandering to Hindus. Why? Why? They're trying to capture everybody's vote, and in the process, they're alienating their core supporters, Christians. And Matt Walsh picked up on this with them platforming Amber Rose, who, by the way, I'm going to lead with this. Brilliant video wrote, Republican Party at its core is not a Christian party. If you think that way, I'm sorry, you're wrong. You should do more research. But they should be a conservative Christian party. So Republicans are conservatives, and we conserve tradition. And the question that you got to be asking yourself is, what traditions was this country founded in? Wasn't Hindu traditions, wasn't Muslim traditions, wasn't even Jewish traditions. It was Christian traditions. So that should be what directs the conservative movement. If we are not conserving traditional Christian morality, then what are we conserving? I think that's a legitimate question. What are we conserving if it's not traditional Christian values? If you want to go that deep, we should all be following the native traditions. Well, yeah, if you mean the Native Americans, no, we shouldn't, because we conquered them. And unfortunately for them, we colonized this nation. So it's our nation now. They've been conquered, and unfortunately, their traditions and their values go by the wayside. And I'm not really, don't really fancy myself somebody that's going to endorse or support, Native American traditions. Especially like when they engage in like warfare and scalped each other and worshipped inanimate objects. Yeah, not with that. But anyway, so Matt Walsh returned from vacation, and this tweet upset a lot of people. So the RNC gives a prime time speaking lot to a pro-abortion feminist and a self-proclaimed slut, and that is, by the way, I'm not calling her a slut. That she started something called the Slut Walk. So that is literally the label that she slapped on herself. With a face tattoo, whose only claim to fame is having sex with rappers. Chilling embarrassment. Not a single voter will be mobilized by this person. And I 100% agree, but a lot of people were very upset about letting Amber Rose speak. Brilliant Video writes, letting Amber Rose speak is probably lower than what we just saw. I would agree that I think they're both pretty abhorrent to me, but this is just like very brazen. And she is currently, by the way, and I'll show, I'm not going to show the content, but I'll show like a screenshot that she still has her OnlyFans page up, by the way. Just saying. This is not a repentant prostitute. This is not somebody that left that life behind them. This is somebody that is actively prostituting herself, who just spoke at the RNC. So, in a primetime slot. So, this is from my friend Ari. She said, I hate to break it to you, but Amber Rose is not relevant in 2024. She was popular pre-TikTok 2017. She has 24 million IG followers and gets 45K average likes on a post. As somebody who analyzed influencer conversion probability for a living, I don't think she's changing hearts and minds. I trust Ari. She's good follow too. Very sweet woman. And she's right. This woman is not going to have the influence that a lot of people think she is, and is only going to alienate people and alienate core supporters by showing us that the GOP's just loves betraying us and loves big tent conservatism at the expense of their core, their base. Republican Party is going too low to attract a few Democrats. Yeah. And this is something too that it's just stupid to me. Like, why water down your message to attract people? Because in the end, you're going to, again, alienate your core supporters, and then you're going to get people that remake your party in their image. They're not going to conform to your ways. How many people become a conservative and grow more conservative, and as a result, change the conservative party as a whole to be more conservative? I haven't seen that happen. If anything, it's going in the opposite direction. Because we end up doing more and more to try to pander to these people. This was shared by Morgan Ariel, a couple clips of Amber, or at least this one.
Yeah, but you're not.
No, I'm an atheist for sure.
Not a Satanist.
I'm not a Satanist, no.
And there's a distinction.
Satanists are just, they're atheists as well, but they're just more political.
Okay.
They have like it's actually a very rational, logical religion. They help a lot of people, a lot of women to get abortions.
Yeah, but.
Lovely. She likes Satanists because they're logical and rational and help women get abortions. Good job, Republican Party, for giving this woman a platform to speak to your people. Let me see. I didn't even play the actual video. My bad. We're just going to play her little speech real quick.
My entire family is racially diverse, and I believe the left-wing propaganda that Donald Trump was a racist. My father said, "No, he's not, Amber. What are you talking about?" And when I insisted, he said, "Prove it." So to prove my father wrong, I did my research and looked into all things Donald Trump. People have to do their research. I watched all the rallies, and I started meeting so many of you, his red hat wearing supporters. I realized Donald Trump and his supporters don't care if you're black, white, gay, or straight. It's all love.
Actually, I'm just going to be honest with you. I do care. I do care if you're gay. I do, because it's not conservative. I don't think we should be opening our arms to the LGBTQ to get votes. I don't. I think we should, it might not be popular, probably not very popular, but I don't really care about the gay vote. I don't care about watering down the message to get the gay vote. I also don't care about the pro-choice votes or the Satanist votes or the feminist votes or the atheist vote. I don't care about their votes. They're not the votes that I'm after. I care about people that are actually conservative. I want more real conservatives voting and helping us conserve tradition. That's what I want. I don't want the gays voting conservative. You want to be gay? You want your right to be gay? Well, there's a party for you. It's called Democrats. You can go vote, or you can go vote Libertarian. That's where you should be voting. And two, by the way, they're still a minority. So maybe stop pandering to them and focus on the people whose values you actually claim to represent, which are Christians. Focus on them. Focus on having a spine. Focus on standing for what you claim to believe in. But no, we'll get more of this garbage. And obviously, again, this has sparked a lot of outrage. And as I had said before, this is from Melanie Mack. Amber Rose added 50% off sale to her prostitution page and stated that she is finally going to be more active again just in time for her RNC speech. Wow, how convenient. Look at how much conservative values she has. So, yeah, her currently up. And she's given a discount. Way to go, conservatives. Great job. Fantastic. You're platforming a practicing prostitute. Wonderful. I hope the votes are worth it. I hope it's worth it. Because you are selling your soul and literally prostituting yourselves out to get votes with a prostitute. Very on brand for conservatives. And my suspicion when I looked at her page was, oh, this is a grift. Like, this is very obviously a grift. And I'll show you that it's a grift. Give me 1 second. So this is her page. All right, let's take a look real quick. All right, so here's her page. As a white man, virus. Thank you, Amber. I just unfollowed Matt Walsh, which, by the way, a real conservative. Matt Walsh is one of the realest conservatives out there, and they followed this prostitute. Way to go. So here she is. Muva is about to speak at the RNC. That's her promoting her cryptocurrency. Oh, another post about Muva, her cryptocurrency. Oh, Muva knows best. Oh, another post promoting her cryptocurrency. Little thing about Trump. Oh, more Muva. Trump. More Muva. 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 Her cryptocurrency, Muva. Muva. Using Trump to promote Muva. Something leads me to believe that maybe this woman is, cosplaying as a conservative to, I don't know, sell her cryptocurrency. Does that not seem illogical looking at her page? Literally, it's all she talks about. Everything is about promoting this crypto. Oh, no, I can't. Sorry, guys. No. Look away. No. Home. Get out of here. All right. All right. So she just she just used the platform to promote her cryptocurrency and her OnlyFans, and she offered a sale on it. And then people want to come at us for saying maybe we shouldn't be promoting the prostitute. Maybe it's not a good idea. You know, it'd be one thing if she showed like any sign that she was going to change her views. But as far as I'm aware, she has not denounced her love for murdering babies. She has not denounced Satanism. She has not denounced her slut walk. She has not denounced feminism. So if she isn't denouncing any of these things, what type of people do you think she's going to be bringing to the conservative movement? Huh? You think they're going to be God-fearing Christians? And if they're not God-fearing Christians, why do we want them? Why do we want their vote? Why do we want the Satanist vote? Why do we want the homosexuals vote? Why do we want the trans vote? Why do we want any of this? Why? And some people have tried to compare her to Nala, who was a former OnlyFans prostitute who found Jesus Christ and repented. Now, here's the difference. One, Amber is not claiming to be a Christian. She's not even pretending to be a Christian. She put on a MAGA hat and started supporting Trump. That's really it. That's pretty much all she's done. And talked a little bit about the economy. Great. Nala got baptized, actually deleted her OnlyFans. She actually did it. She followed through, deleted that, got married, and publicly professed that people should repent of their sin and follow Jesus. I think that's good. And by the way, I wouldn't encourage you inviting her up to speak at the RNC. She shared her testimony. It's a beautiful thing. She showed what God's love can do to change a person. And she rode off into the sunset. And I don't see anything wrong with that. So definitely a difference in the character of these individuals, because as I stated, this person is still practicing prostitution and putting it on sale. So obviously she's exploiting this to get men to sign up for her OnlyFans and sell cryptocurrency. And I just feel like I shouldn't even have to point this out, but the way people have been responding has just been unhinged. Oh, let's be a big tent movement and just let everybody in. Then what separates? What sets us apart from Democrats? Really? If we're going to be inclusive just like them, if we're going to have Lady MAGA at CPAC and champion Blair White as a voice of conservatism and celebrate gay men, homosexual men like Dave Rubin, what makes us different than the Democrats? Nothing. We're just Democrat light for now. And soon we'll be fully Democrat if we don't actually show some conviction and stand up for what we believe in. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. It's disappointing. But again, the Republicans stay letting me down. My hope is that that she just kind of fades into irrelevance and people get the message loud and clear that we shouldn't be promoting prostitutes. But again, that was day one. I don't even know what's happening right now. I don't want to know. I'll find out tomorrow. But they really got to think about the Christian vote, and staying true to what they believe. Because I will get a little bit spiritual on you. God can only put up with degeneracy for so long before he actually passes judgment on a nation. And I think judgment, large in part, is here. And if we don't repent as a nation, if we don't fall at the feet of Jesus and give our lives to Christ and serve him, that it'll only be a matter of time before worse things happen than assassination attempts. We as a nation need to humble ourselves. We need to turn from our sin, repent, and we need leaders who are zealous for the Lord, who are willing to stand up against evil and stand for righteousness and proclaim the name of Jesus Christ and not shrink back under pressure. That's what we need now more than ever. All right. I went real long today, guys. So one, thank y'all for being active in the chat. Brilliant video. Even though I don't think we necessarily agreed, definitely enjoyed engaging with you, and I appreciate you. And if you like this content, please like, follow, subscribe. Do all of those things. It helps me grow. And we are growing, by the way. We're very close to hitting 800 on YouTube. Pretty cool. We just hit, I think, 124-ish on Rumble. And we're growing on pretty much every platform. I mean, we've doubled in growth from last year, more than doubled. So shout out to you guys. You've been awesome, and I definitely appreciate it. All right, that's going to do it for me today, guys. I hope you have a blessed day. Deuces.